What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Kingdom Fit. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification button. Don't forget to drop a like and leave a comment. I know I'm asking you to do a lot, but hey, it helps the channel. It helps me. It helps me to stay engaged with you guys, man, to let you guys know what I think, what's going on, and how I feel about everything that is going on, man. So I got some Victor Oladipo highlights here. I hope I said his name right. We call him Wakanda Forever, but I got my man on the screen, man, because I really love how Houston went about doing this, because there's two ways to look at this trade. And of course, I'm talking about the trade of James Harden that took place today. Man, when he came out in that press conference and he said what he said, being that I'm from Houston, you know, born and raised, like deep part of the hood, you know what I'm saying? When you hear somebody say something like that in your regards, you're like, man, no talent. Like, are you really trying to tell somebody that? Like, you really trying to approach somebody on that level, but yet here you are, you know, carrying yourself a certain way. But I don't want to get into all that, man. But shout out, man, to Raphael Stone, who was, you know, he was a mentee under Daryl Morey. But shout out to Raphael Stone, man. Way to put it to Daryl Morey. Because Daryl Morey, truthfully speaking, man, created this monster. And then he tried to leave and knew that when he left, that James Harden was going to bail ship. He knew it. So he tried to become the poster child for James Harden. He tried to become the advertiser for James Harden. Like I said, I know the video on the back is playing a little deeper. We're going to get there. But, man, what an eventful day today. The trade went down. We get some we get some draft picks for, then we get the swaps, and then we end up with your boy Victor Oladipo. We ended up with this guy from the Brooklyn Nets. I can't really pronounce his name. And then we also ended up with Dante Exum. Now, the kid from Brooklyn, I know a lot of people don't really got too much high expectation on the kid, but the kid is 6'9". He's a small forward / power forward. The kid can create, and the kid can shoot the three. And we don't too much know about his defense, but my goodness, man, just to know we got another 6'9" guy that can shoot the three and he can play defense, possibly, we about to see, it just only helps our effort. So here's my 2 points, man. One, the trade. The trade allows Houston to look at this and say we can still compete, or it allows Houston to look at this and say we can rebuild for the future. Me, I'm a competitor. Like, 13 years in the Marine Corps, man, I traveled the world. I'm a competitor. So I'm always looking at every season as a competition. To me, when you go get a score like Victor Oladipo, who took LeBron James in the playoff series in the East to a 7-game series, like Victor, I think 6 or 7 game series, Victor Oladipo was putting on a show. And he's back to that form. He's averaging 20 points on the season. And you're telling me there's a potential with a combo guard? 2 guys who can defend, 2 guys who can score, 2 guys who can get to the basket. Victor has the mid-range jumper in him. Victor has the three-point shooting ability in him. Victor can attack on the offense. Victor will keep his opponent always guessing what he's going to do. He's quick. There's a lot, guys, to look forward here. So I am very, 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 very excited, man, about this trade. Now, did we get back what we was expecting? Like, we was expecting like at least somebody somewhat similar to a James Harden level. You're not going to get that, man. Look at Anthony Davis. When the Lakers went and got AD on a trade package deal, they sent out all their young talent. Like Brandon Ingram, everybody knew Brandon Ingram was going to be a young star, but at the same time, we knew Brandon Ingram had to go. It was either him or Kuzma. But if you look back at it, man, LA, when they kept Kuzma, I believe they paid him at a crappy deal, man. Like, they're paying that kid about, I think, $14 million a year, $15 million a year, somewhere around there. They're paying Morris more than they're paying Kuzma, and Morris ain't that good to me. To me, Morris is not as great as Kuzma is. To me, they got Kuzma on some bullcrap money. And Kuzma's accepting it, man. He's accepting it because he wants the rings. And he's hoping, man, that he's not tarnishing his image at the same time, that when he go into the market, that he really get the dollar value that I think that kid can be worth, man. Kid can hoop. Like, straight up, the kid can hoop. But he's becoming a spot-up shooter. That's really what he is right now. He's just a spot-up shooter. That's what LeBron James does to the game. But let's talk about Houston, man. Starting lineup, John Wall, Victor Oladipo. Then you got your 3-4 guy. I like the double lineup. You guys see me post and talk about it, man, with Boogie and Woods. But at the same time, you still got PJ on the team, so you have to throw PJ in there for some defensive purposes. You can even switch Tate out, but I wouldn't start Tate right now. Just give Tate some little bit more time and some playing time, and he can do what he need to do. And then you got House that's going to be coming back. You got EG. You got Ben McLemore. You got shooters all over the place, man. I think this year is still a competitive year for Houston. And that's why I'm excited about this trade, because it put Houston in a position that if you underestimate what we have right now, you can potentially put yourself in a position to be in an upset mode. Because not only are we watching a roster where Steven Silas can take this talent that we have and actually use it to his best benefit, we're also watching a roster where guys are bought in, man. They want to play defense. Guys are learning the scheme. They want to play for one another. They want to get out there and hustle. They want to show that they have what it takes to be competitive. And that's what we have been missing in Houston, man. We've watched one guy do it. We watched two guys do it, but we never watch a whole team buy into the concept of having that dog, having that mindset to go out there and to put on a competitive competition, man, where you see a defensive scheme work, man, or where you see guys who can actually move or dribble without the ball. Like we're watching Jayshawn Tate actually cut to the rim, actually be in the paint, create his own shot. We watched this guy go to the paint. We watched this guy. There's a lot of things, man, that you guys have to look at and say, if we do tank, you're going to decrease the image of the Houston Rockets organization. Houston Texas, that's a whole nother conversation. But the Houston Rockets organization. Remember now, Hakeem Olajuwon put a statue of what the Houston Rockets organization can do. Of course, with Clyde Drexler, Kenny Just Smith, and so many other great guys. That lure Charles Barkley over here, if you guys remember, he played in here. That lure Scottie Pippen over here, if you guys remember, he came and played here. Like, there's a lot of things that the Houston Rockets have been great at. T-Mac days, Yao Ming days, Stevie Franchise day, Katino Mobley. Like, there's been great guys, man, who have come through this building. And there's been a Chris Paul, there's been a Russell Westbrook, there's been a Dwight Howard. There have been great guys who've come through this building. We do not want to tarnish the image because of this James Harden. James Harden was here for 7 to 8 years. We don't need this guy tarnishing the image and going into tank mode because he decides to walk out. Let the guy go, man. He did great. Like, every year the guy was here, we made the playoffs. Every year the guy was here, he kept Houston Rockets at its peak, man. Peak meaning we were there, but we didn't make it over the peak. So we were there, like 7-game series against the Warriors. Win that game, boom. We talking championship. So we were there, but we haven't made it over that threshold since the Hakeem Olajuwon days. So don't tarnish the image by tanking. Stay competitive, because when guys see the roster, just like the LA Clippers, Kawhi Leonard wouldn't have came to the Clippers, man, if he didn't see two 6-man coming off the bench, one named Lou Will and one named Harold. And you got a Patrick Beverly. Like, think about that, man. And then he goes and get PG. Now this year he went and got an Ibaka. So think about it, man. You have to keep it competitive so that guys see this roster of a Boogie, that guys see this roster of a Woods, guys see this roster of a John Wall, guys see this roster of a Victor Oladipo, and they say to themselves, man, I'm the missing piece. And with me being the missing piece, I can go over here, come to Houston, and we can do great things. And now, personally, me, man, my outlook, I've been hashtagging on Twitter. If you haven't followed your boy, follow your boy on Twitter. Same name, man, Mr. Kingdom Fit. Hashtag Levine. Like, I've been chatting that for about a couple days now. Hashtag go get Levine. That's who I wanted. And the reason why I wanted, kid's young, man. He's 25 years old. Kid can score anywhere on the floor. Like, and he's coachable. I've watched this kid from being a baby when he was with the Timberwolves to now go to the Bulls, and he stayed relevant even in a situation where he shouldn't be relevant. He stayed relevant, and the kid has just only gotten better. And I think he's going to waste his talent. That's just personally me. So either they find a way to get that kid up out of there, or they find a way to bring people there. But Chicago, man, it's hard to get him in there. But stay tuned, man. I'm going to drop another video here later on to let you guys know what I think about everything.